Good to go.
Thanks, Eric, very much. Oh, it's good to have you back. Yes, sir. Good morning, everyone, and welcome. We will call to order the regular public meeting of the Lawrence County Board of Commissioners. Today is Tuesday, January 14, 2025. We'll note that the meeting is being live streamed and also being recorded. And we would ask if you have a cell phone, if you'd please put it on vibrate or silent. We appreciate you doing that. We always start the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance, and then we'd ask you to remain standing for a moment of silence. Commissioner Sanada, could you lead us in the pledge?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing. We'll have a moment of silence. Thank you all very much. Vanessa, could you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Sanado?
Here.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Here.
Commissioner Vogler?
Here. Thank you. We have 2 times during the meeting for public comment, one in just a few moments, and then one before we adjourn. You're welcome to speak both times, or if you just want to speak once, that's fine, or if you'd rather just sit and listen, that's equally fine. We do ask that your comments be related to county government matters and that you try to limit your time to 5 minutes or so. Item 2 on our agenda, we always set aside time during the meeting for any of our row officers who would wish to provide us with any reports or updates. And we're very honored today to have our county treasurer, Rich Rapone, with us. Welcome.
Good morning.
And I assume since we have a document from you, you'd like to speak.
I would.
Would you mind coming to the microphone, please?
Good morning, everyone.
Good to have you, Rich. Thank
Happy
you.
New Year.
Thank you.
Okay, I provided each of you with a copy of the end of year Lawrence County Treasurer's Report. Just going to review that with you. We started off mailing out 51,709 tax bills. We also had a spring interim mailing and a fall interim mailing for a total of 51,861 tax bills that were sent out on behalf of the county. The potential of collections was 31,278,128. And I'm happy to say that we've collected 93% of that potential for a total of 29,182,910.74. So we mailed out 51,861 parcels, and we've collected 46,983 parcels. So that means there are 4,767 unpaid parcels that we have sent over to the tax claim department, which equals about 1.7 million uncollectibles. So, any questions with 2024 collection report?
Well, first of all, we appreciate all of this information. It's very, very helpful. And the fact that you all fit it on one page, that's also commendable. The 93% is about average for each year, isn't it? Sometimes we've been a little below that. If we hit 94 at some point.
We have, this is my 17th year. So we've been anywhere between 92 and 93. Last year it was 94%. So, but I still think that's very good. And thank you to our taxpayers who make it a priority to satisfy the taxes throughout the year.
Well, and thank you to you and your staff for the good job that you do collecting. We've been in a couple meetings within the last couple of weeks where we've discussed the fact that there aren't very many counties in the Commonwealth where the county treasurer actually collects the county property taxes. In most counties, it's the local municipal collectors that do that.
So,
So
to my knowledge, there's 6 counties.
that's my
But
understanding.
their county treasurer is also the chief tax collector for the county of Stateville.
And quite frankly, no disrespect to our tax collectors, because we have a lot of good ones, but I think the fact that this centralization of it, where you handle collecting it from throughout the county, it certainly works well.
It does. I think the county gets their funds quicker as opposed to a tax collector coming once a month to give it to the county treasurer. They will receive it. So we have daily deposits. But it's the quickest way to get county funds in there. The way we do on that. In fact, I've gone to a conference and there's a lot of my fellow treasurers that they wish they were under the vernacular aisle, to get their money quicker like we do. And I said, so that was determined back in 1800s.
It's a state law, and we have to adhere to that state law.
Exactly.
We don't make that rule.
No.
The legislature did. We live with it. But no, I'm glad it's structured the way it is.
Absolutely.
Go
I
ahead.
just wonder if there's no questions on 2024. I'm going to talk about 2025. We're currently working and getting the 2025 tax bill ready to go, and everything's on market for that. So it looks like around February 14th, they should be mailed out, as long as there's no issues whatsoever. All 22 county tax outreach venues have been scheduled. And the first one begins on March 13th in Plainville. Yeah, so we're ready to go.
That's great. That's good to hear. Commissioner Kennedy, any questions for the treasurer?
No, done a great job, Richard.
Thank you.
The 2025, I noticed here it says, 2024, we didn't have a tax anticipation note.
Right.
We did it again in
Again in
2025.
2025.
Absolutely.
Saves us money.
Yes, sir. Anything else, Dan?
That's it.
Thank you. Commissioner Sanada?
I'll just echo Mr. Kennedy, thank you and your staff for your hard work. This is good news in a way. And my question, Rich, this is on my first year, the 7% that haven't paid.
Yes.
What's the statistic there that we'll eventually get the money?
I think we do. I mean, tax claim would have to speak to that. I don't know what their final numbers are, Joe. Would you go?
Not off the top of my head. There's a majority of them.
Yes.
And Joe, maybe a question to you is, do we budget for the 7% at this point? How does that work?
Well, we have anticipated revenue from our tax claim office, which is usually anywhere between 1.7 and 1.9 million dollars a year. That would be for back taxes.
Okay.
I do know that they used the month of June, once we turn it over, they used the month of January to do all their back office. Then February, I believe they start sending out the notices on the past due. And then there's, of course, a filing fee and an interest charge on that. Okay. So that would be part of that. So I think the majority is collected.
It is. I mean, when you look at the numbers of what's outstanding as compared to what, just before she left, they anticipated in her budget to come in, there's probably really only a few $100,000 tops off,
Exactly.
that's unexpected or unanticipated.
Yes.
So eventually we'll come.
It does.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Mr. Rapone, anything else for
No,
us?
that's all I have. Thank you.
Well, we very much appreciate this information and the work that you do. You are very welcome to stay for the meeting, but if you have to head back upstairs, we understand.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thanks, Rich.
Thank you, Rich.
Appreciate your joining us.
See you, Mike.
Item 3 would be public comment. Are there any public comments so far this morning? Hearing none. Thank you. Under fiscal and contractual, we have 3 warrant registers from the Controller's Office, also known as check reconciliation registers. They are dated January 7, 8, and 10 of 2025. Chris and Dan, please take the time you need to look them over. Whenever you're ready, I can entertain a motion for us to accept these documents.
I already looked at it. I want to make a motion to accept them.
I'll second.
You're okay, then you're up to
Yeah.
speed. Okay, thank you both. If there are no questions, we'll take a roll call, please.
Commissioner Sinata?
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes?
Motion carries.
Thank you. Also in our packet, by the way, these documents are available for anyone that wishes to see them. And if Debbie Walker from the news is watching us, Debbie, we'll have these documents for you upstairs in our office if you'd like to pick them up. The minutes of last week's meeting, Tuesday, January 7, are in our packet. Gentlemen, please take whatever time you need to look them over. And once you've done that, I can entertain a motion for us to adopt the minutes.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Thank you both. Any questions or concerns about the minutes? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Commissioner Sinata?
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thanks, Vanessa. 2 documents have come in since last week that we need to enter into the record under written communications. The first is from RAR Engineering Group, which is based here in the city of Newcastle. They are writing to us on behalf of their client, Soils Incorporated, which is located in Union Township. They're notifying us that the company intends to apply for a general permit, WMGR 046. That's a state permit that's put out by the Department of Environmental Protection. And that permit pertains to the processing of various wastes prior to beneficial use as manufactured soil or soil amendment. Goes on to say, a brief description shows that Soils Incorporated intends to receive drinking water treatment sludges, and then after windrowing, which I'm sure is a technical term, but it's in their industry, they will mix 10% of this material with topsoil to make a beneficial use product for resale. All material will be non-hazardous and is being permitted through the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection. And this is signed by Mr. Ron Rizzo of RAR Engineering. The second document that we've received comes from Gwynn, Dobson, and Foreman, consulting engineers out of Altoona, out in Blair County. They are writing on behalf of the Pennsylvania American Water Company, notifying us that they intend to undertake, the water company intends to undertake lead service line replacement in the city of Newcastle in census tracts 1 and 3. And it looks as though this is a review relative to Penvest funding application. The project consists of replacement of approximately 556 lead water service lines located within the city of Newcastle. The replacement work is planned to be conducted via direct replacement, and it goes on to describe the technical nature of how this is done. So this is signed by Leslie Postick or Postick. I hope I'm pronouncing Leslie's name correctly. Leslie is an environmental scientist for Gwynn, Dobson, and Foreman. Gentlemen, before I take a motion, any questions or concerns about either of these documents? Could I have a motion to accept them, please?
I move we accept the documents.
I'll second.
Thank you. If there are no other questions, we'll take a roll call, please.
Commissioner Sinata,
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you, Vanessa. Under Commissioner reports and comments, it looks like I go first today. I'll note that yesterday, and I'll let either Dan or Chris give details if they'd like, but yesterday we attended up in Crawford County, the three of us attended the quarterly meeting of the Northwest County Commissioners Caucus. And it's a very informative meeting. It allows us to interact with our fellow commissioners. We had a good presentation, but again, I'll defer to Dan or Chris if they'd like to give some details about that. Also, at 1:30 this afternoon, our fellow commissioners from Mercer County will be coming down to this room. We will be holding the public meeting of the West Central Job Partnership Governing Board. It's as I mentioned, it's open to the public, and we move back and forth. So right now, this time it's Lawrence County's turn to host. And again, I will note, but I'll let either Dan or Chris elaborate, that tomorrow we have good news out in the Shannick Township. There will be a groundbreaking for the expansion at the Steelite facility off of Pulaski Road in the Shannick Township. But again, I'll let Dan and Chris elaborate, especially since Dan is on the board of Forward Lawrence, which has worked very closely with Steelite. So that being said, I'll turn it over to Mr. Kennedy.
The only thing I got with tomorrow, yeah, we do that at Steelite. That'll be an exciting day, but it's gonna be a cold day. So they picked the coldest day of the year to do it. But that's how I will go out and brave the cold and get through it. But that's all I really have. We went yesterday up to the Northwest Commission and got to talk to our other commissioners from around the Northwest. It was a nice day, so glad to go.
Glad you were able to go. Anything else? Thank you. Mr. Sonata.
Yeah, just last Friday, I had an opportunity to go to the Lawrence County Tourist Promotion Agency meeting. Things are going well down there. Promote the county, the cathedral, and we celebrated their 100th anniversary this year. And there's going to be a lot of efforts throughout the year, a lot of tourist-related activity within Lawrence County. So they're doing a good job down there, and we want to continue to move forward because that does generate revenue for Lawrence County. And one good thing I heard is the hotel tax revenue has been coming in well. That's telling me that people are coming to Lawrence County.
that's sort of an indicator of how well things are coming. So if we want people to come to the hotels that are here, that shows you they are coming. So, and just, looking forward to the still life tomorrow. I remember back in the day, I think Chairman Boger, you were there when we broke the ground. I remember Bob Del Signor was there as before he became a commissioner. So that's how many years ago that was. I remember us doing that day. It's hard to believe it's been that many years, but this is very positive. You see what's happening out there and they're growing. So it starts small and it keeps growing, and look forward to seeing more of that in the county. So that's pretty much all I have. I look forward to our meeting this afternoon with our counterparts from up in Mercer County. Thanks, Chris, very much. Thanks also to Dan. Under new business, our first resolution, which, by the way, what number will this be, Vanessa?
8.
Resolution 8 of 2025 comes to us from Children and Youth Services, and Mike Grippo is with us. Mike, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, you guys.
Good to have you back. You have a proposed resolution that would allow the county to enter into an agreement with Attorney Kevin Lorello to handle, from a legal aspect, juvenile dependency cases. Do you have more information you need to share with us on this?
He worked with us last year. He's assistant to John Bonjavingo. So, yeah, so what I did was I was trying to get his contract. His contract expired December 31st. I was trying to run it, so I only made this a 6-month contract. So I want to get him in the regular schedule from July 1st to June 30th. So I'll be back, for the July 1st and run him the whole year. This way he's in line with all the other contracts. That's why I only made it 6 months.
That makes sense to me, obviously. And according to this, the contract would be a fixed rate not to exceed $20,000 per year.
Right.
With there being 12 equal monthly payments. Anything else you need to offer to us? Let me see if Commissioner Sanada has any questions.
No, it's straightforward.
Thank you, Chris. Mr. Kennedy? Nothing. Okay, gentlemen, would you care to make a motion for this proposal?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Thank you both. This is Resolution 8. If there are no other concerns, we'll take a roll call, please.
Commissioner Sinata,
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler,
Yes?
motion carries.
Thank you. Always good to see you.
Thanks.
And, it'll be a while, I would assume, before we have other contracts coming.
Yeah,
on.
I know, not till about June or July.
Okay.
Unless something unique
Yeah,
comes
something
up.
may come up, you never know. But you're always welcome here.
Yeah. All right, thanks.
Mike.
Mike, have a good one. Stay safe.
You too.
Thank you. Proposed Resolution 9. Speaking of contracts, for a number of years, we have had a contract with Mr. Frank McCary. He's an independent contractor providing services to the maintenance department. This resolution would renew that contract for the calendar year. Yes, it'll continue on an annual basis unless terminated by either party. And it is retroactive to January 1 of 2025, and the dollar amount of the contract is $38,110. Mr. Sanada, any questions or concerns?
No, I think that Frank has that institutional knowledge of this building and conversations with it this past year. I'm very impressed. Whenever there's anything that's, he can tell you the history of what happened 52 years ago. So I think this is will save the county substantial amounts of money by having this knowledge on board. So.
Thank you for that. Mr. Kennedy, any thoughts or concerns?
No, not at all.
Okay, thank you. This is Resolution 9. Would one of you care to make a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second that.
Thank you both, gentlemen. And if there are no other concerns or discussion, we'll ask Vanessa to call the roll.
Commissioner Sinata,
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler,
Yes?
motion carries.
Thank you. Resolution 10 is a budget amendment pertaining to the Mental Health and Developmental Services Office. And you may wonder, well, we just adopted our budget, but keep in mind that in large part, correct me if I'm wrong, the MHDS office gets a lot of state money, and their budget runs from July 1 to June 30.
That's correct.
Is that maybe the reason why we're doing this, or is there another reason?
Yeah, and they're finishing their INEs right now, which is their reports to the state, and they're allowed to carry over a percentage of their dollars. So this is kind of closing the books on.
Okay. The dollar amount we're looking at, it's coming, we're taking it, noting it's that the line item is the prior year balance MHDS revenues account. Dollar amount being $73,975. That'll be earmarked to the travel and training expense account. Anything else we need to know, Joe?
No, just moving their funds, money around that. This will actually close out 2024 for, it allows them to carry that and adjust the budget for their 2025 budget.
Thank you for that. I'll see if Mr. Kennedy has any questions. Thank you, sir. Mr. Sanada?
No.
Okay. Could I have a motion for Resolution 10, please?
I'll make that.
I'll second. Thank you both. And if there are no other concerns, we'll ask Vanessa to call the roll.
Commissioner Sinata?
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Resolution 11. This is also a budget amendment. This pertains to the district attorney's office, specifically the opioid settlement, the district attorney's opioid settlement revenue account. We're looking at a change there to the tune of $109,310. And then we would earmark that towards the district attorney's opioid settlement expenses account. Joe, anything else we need to know?
Yeah, he received a check after January 1st, so it's a positive for him. His budget will increase a little bit, so it was unexpected, and when it was coming in, was not known. But since it was after the first of the year, we thought it would be prudent to put it in. You know, I think he found out at the very end of December, and controller pressed upon him, and said, just wait till the check comes.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Thank you. Mr. Sanada? Makes sense to me as well. Okay, thank you. Mr. Kennedy?
Nothing.
All righty. Would someone care to make a motion for Resolution 11? I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Thank you, gentlemen. If there are no other concerns, we'll ask for a roll call.
Commissioner Sinata?
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. We do have a few small transfers, and I'm assuming that even though it's the beginning of the year, sometimes we do have to tweak things a little bit that come up.
Yeah, a lot of these commissioner were carryovers
Okay.
from 2024.
Thank you for noting that. The first comes from the Proprietary's office, and it's noted on the document. It's a carryover from 2024. The request is to take $2,000 from the Proprietary's travel line item, transfer it into her minor equipment line item. I'm going to read all three, but Chris and Dan, stop me if you have any questions. The district attorney is asking for a transfer from his contingency of $6,000 into maintenance and repairs. And then also from the district attorney, from his contingency, he'd like to take $1,461.06, transfer that into minor equipment. Looks like they had an old computer that gave out and they need to purchase a new one. Dan, any questions about these three requests?
Nothing.
Thank you. Chris, anything? Okay. Joe, you feel they're all in order?
Yes.
Okay. Would someone, if you'd like, gentlemen, we can vote on all three if you'd like to make a motion to that effect.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you. Second. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Chris. Any other questions? Hearing none, we'll take a roll call.
Commissioner Sinata?
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thanks, Vanessa.
You're welcome.
We'll note under announcements, the next time this Board of Commissioners will meet will be a week from today, Tuesday, January 21, 10 o'clock in this room, open to the public. We mentioned earlier that the West Central Job Partnership Governing Board, the three of us and three Mercer County Commissioners will conduct our meeting, a public meeting today at 1:30 in this room. The Lawrence County Prison Board, the 7 members of the prison board will meet a week from tomorrow, January 22 of 2025 at noon in this room. And then it's not noted here, but next Monday, the courthouse will be closed in observance of the federal holiday, which is the Martin Luther King holiday. So the building will not be open in observance of that. As far as public comment, I'll note that there are no members of the public in the room at this time, so I will see if my fellow commissioners have any closing comments. Mr. Kennedy?
None.
Thank you. Mr. Sanada? None. Okay, thank you. And then I always ask Vanessa and Joe if we maybe missed anything? No? Okay, thank you. Well, we appreciate everybody's being here today and all of your help in holding this meeting together. And if there being no other business to be brought before the board, I'd ask for an adjournment motion. I will be adjourned.
I'll second.
Thank you. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, the same sign. Motion carries. The meeting's adjourned. Thank you, everybody. And Joe, you don't mind? Okay, thank you. Sure. That was the quickest one yet. Well, that was one of my New Year's resolutions. Try to speed things up a little bit. I know you've got a meeting you got to get.
Yeah. I got one.
Are you?
This afternoon.
Yeah, you